Hey everyone, so this is going to be the first video in my Red Sea Reefer 525 XL build. So for those of you who have seen my videos before, you know that I already have a Red Sea Reefer 250, approximately 2 years old, and a lot going on in the last year and a half. We moved, got married, new job, tons of stuff going on, and I was lucky enough to have the wife allow me to upgrade my tank. So I ordered it last week. I'm assuming based on the normal shipping schedule, it'll ship this coming Friday. So about 4 days from now, probably about a week and a half to get to the house. Already ordered a decent amount of the equipment. My previous video, I kind of went over a brief summary of what I planned on doing, but kind of wanted to kind of show off some of the stuff that I already got and some initial plans. So this area over here is kind of my dining room. Sorry for all the mess, still kind of in the unpacking mode. But this little nook right over here next to the kitchen is going to be where the 525 is going to go. So probably going to relocate the table a little bit, probably have to relocate the chandelier that we have going on. But this is going to be the area over here where I'm going to put the tank. Should fit quite nice in this area. It'll stick out just a little bit past countertops here, but overall I went with the white cabinet just to kind of blend in. All my cabinets in the kitchen are white as well, so I wanted it to kind of look really nice and clean. Yeah, but this is the area where I plan on actually putting it. So now if we move over to my storage room, a lot of the boxes from some of today's shipments. So kind of starting off, I will definitely be using the osmolator. So if it's one thing I learned with my 250, the Red Sea Reefer's version of their auto top off, as convenient as it is that they offer one, it is very problematic. So it will clog constantly, probably about once a month. I typically do once a week or once every other week water changes. And that's when I try to do most of my maintenance, where I'll change out the carbon in the tank, clean out the sump, clean the skimmer. But probably at least once a month, I'm having to disassemble the float valve assembly in order to unclog it. And for any of you who have experienced it, you know how just stressful it can be on the fish in the tank when it clogs, your water level gets way too low and it's blowing bubbles into the tank. Depending on what pump you have, you might have a pump that shuts off where you're getting no water flow, which I guess would be better as long as you have a power head in there to circulate the water in the tank. But I've had it happen several times. It's happened when my wife and I have been on vacation and my dad was watching the tank, and trying to explain through all that is just, it's not fun. So I am going to go with the osmolator as my auto top off. And then behind me over here, this is a Trigger Systems 5-gallon clear reservoir tank. So I'll have that on the right side of the tank, and kind of, I guess, where you would put all the electrical components and your power heads and all that stuff, power bricks. So that's going to go on the side of the tank, and then it's got these 2 holes drilled in, which I haven't pulled the wires out yet, but it looks like everything will fit in there for the osmolator pump. Or if not, it's got a nice little hole right here where you can get it through. Nice little lid, come off, to be ordered to fill. Kind of expensive. I don't know if it's acrylic or plastic. It was $100, got it through Bulk Reef Supply. But overall, $300 for the osmolator in this, I think will work out very well for my situation. That, and I have plans on this Red Sea Reefer on converting the auto top off reservoir that they give you into a refugium. So I already purchased the bulkheads, the glass drill bits, all that stuff, as well as some plumbing for it. So eventually, I don't know if I'm going to do it right away, but I will be converting that into a refugium. And this nice long white box here is a 800 watt Finex titanium heater with the Finex controller. I do kind of have mixed reviews on the Phoenix, and a lot of you will be, well, like, why did you get another one? I've tried about 3 or 4 different heaters in the 2 years that I've had this tank, not to mention I have about 10 years of experience with saltwater aquariums. Right now in the tank downstairs, from my recent video, you'll notice I have a Jaeger. I think it's a 150 watt, and the Phoenix. I don't even remember what my Phoenix is for the 250, the Red Sea 250. But this one had pretty decent reviews. I wanted one that had the controller, again, because I don't want to keep having to put my hands in the tank to change. I live in Michigan. We get crazy swings in weather. Like a couple days ago, it was almost 60 degrees. Today, it is snowing and 16 degrees. And I've never had an actual heater that will keep the temperature extremely consistent. Depending on if it's warm in your area or cold in your weather, especially if you live in a state that swings like that, your thermometer or your heater is going to, I guess, change what its sensitivity is. I try to keep mine plus or minus 1 degree, and having 2 heaters in the tank downstairs has been able to help me keep my tank right around 78 degrees plus or minus a degree. So I will end up getting another heater for this new Red Sea Reefer 525. I just have not decided yet. 2 bottles of the Biospira, so I will use this to cycle my tank. Each one's good for 75 gallons, 130 roughly gallon total volume for the Red Sea Reefer, minus sand and rock, so should be more than enough there. The 2 big boxes down here are 90 pounds of Reef Saver rock. Same rock I used on the old tank. I'm not a big fan of live rock and saving the reefs around the world. I'd rather use this Reef Saver rock. For the sand, I'm using the Carib Sea Special Grade Dry. I got 2 40-pound bags. Should give me about 1.5 inch sand bed, if not a little bit more, in the tank. So that's the sand I'm going to be using. Salt that I've used on all of my tanks is the Red Sea Coral Pro salt. I love that salt. I've had no issues with it. I've used it ever since I started the Red Sea Reefer 250, so I'm going to continue to use it at least for now. Kind of moving back over here, so I already talked about the osmolator. Nopox, I don't really need to say too much about it, but I use Nopox in my system. That is my phosphate and nitrate management. I have tried GFO, but it's expensive, and in a Red Sea Reefer 250 sump, you don't have a whole lot of room. So I went to using the Nopox, and I've had great results with it in my Reefer 250, and I will more than likely be using it as well in the Red Sea Reefer 525. For my return pump, I ended up getting the Jabo JCP 10,000. So the DCP line is their newest line of pumps. I currently have the DCT 4000 on my Red Sea Reefer 250 downstairs. For my previous video, you'll know, again, this is another one where it's kind of mixed reviews, but based on the bang for your buck, you really can't beat these pumps. Even if it only lasts a couple years, it cost me $120 to get this pump through Amazon. And compared to spending $300-400 for something like a Vectra, I'll risk it, because I could buy 3 of these for the price of 1 Vectra. And from reviews I've also read online and videos and then forums, the Vectras seem to be just as hit or miss with breaking down. So I stuck with the Jabo. More than likely, I will be hard plumbing this in. So my plan overall for the new tank is it's going to be hard plumbed. I'm not going to use the vinyl tubing that it comes with, if it comes with it. I will be doing a 1-inch manifold from the return pump to the return inlet on the Red Sea Reefer 525, and I'll also be doing an extension for a reactor, possibly 2. But I will try to do a video on that as I get going on it. Obviously, I don't even have the tank yet. I've mapped it out on paper and ordered all the necessary components I feel I need. So as soon as the tank gets here and I get the stand built, get the tank on top, I'll start actually mapping it out under the in the sump area, and I'll try to do as best as a video as possible on that of progress of the hard plumbing. For the skimmer, I decided to try out the Bubble Magus Curve 7 for this tank. I have the Deltec 1351 in my current tank. It was about $150 more than I spent on this one. Not to mention I would have had to get a bigger one anyways for a 525. So I decided to try out this Bubble Magus. A little bit cheaper in quality, but had a lot of great reviews between Marine Depot and other videos and forums that I read. So I'm going to give this one a try. We'll see how it goes. It was really between this or the Nios, but I figured with everything else I wanted to spend on the tank, you know, purchasing equipment and all, I wanted to go save money wherever I could, so I decided to do this. For the power heads in the tank, I am doing 2 of the MP40s by Ecotech Marine. So excited to get those up. I've been a big fan, but never wanted to really spend the money on the Red Sea Reefer 250. But for this one, I thought it was definitely necessary. I like the fact that the cord is not in the tank. And also seeing very good reviews on these. Obviously some, you know, mechanical issues, pump smell, you know, not working properly, the wet side, dry side. Everything's going to have its ups and downs. These look very sleek, and I'm going to give them a go, and hopefully I have good results with them. So for the time being, guys, that is the equipment sneak peek for the Red Sea Reefer 525. Really excited to get the tank, get it built. I will try to video document the build process with my GoPro. If not, you'll definitely see some videos and pictures of when I get it at least assembled. Please feel free to leave any comments, suggestions, feedback. And again, really excited to get this project going. And thank you for watching.